Opening scene. The Galactic Council chambers float in deep space. A massive ring-shaped station. Two ancient alien races, the Vorlax Empire and the Tekrian Alliance, have been at war for 300 years. Their fleets face each other across a neutral zone. Ready for the final battle, millions will die in the coming hours. Introduction of the human element. A small, unremarkable human cargo ship named the Wanderer enters the war zone. The ship's captain is James Reed, a simple merchant hauling supplies. His crew includes his co-pilot, Lisa Grant, an engineer. Tom Hayes. They didn't know about the war. Humans are new to the galaxy. Both alien fleets detect the ship and are confused. The alien perspective commander Vorin leads the Vorlax fleet, a proud warrior with 4 arms and gray skin. General Kess commands the Tekrian forces, a being of pure energy in a containment suit. Both sides see the human ship as an oddity. Humans are barely known, only 50 years in space. Considered primitives, the accidental intervention. James tries to turn the ship around when he sees the massive fleets. But the Wanderer suffers an engine failure, right? Between both armies, the ship drifts helplessly. In the neutral zone, both fleets hold their fire. Confused by this tiny vessel first contact chaos, James sends out a distress signal in broken Galactic common language. Hello, friends. Our ship is broken. We need help. We mean no harm. The message is so simple and genuine that it confuses both military commanders. Vorin thinks it's a trick. Kess believes it might be a new weapon, the human approach. Lisa suggests they broadcast their ship's status to both sides. Tom starts live streaming their repair efforts on open channels. The aliens watch as 3 humans struggle with basic tools to fix their engine. The broadcast shows their cargo, food supplies, medicine, seeds, and children's toys. Cultural shock. Both alien fleets are warrior cultures. They respect strength and strategy. Watching humans fumble with repairs while joking and laughing is bizarre to them. James tells bad jokes over the comm system to keep his crew calm. Why did the space pirate go to school? To improve his arithmetic. The unexpected message. James, not understanding the situation, sends messages to both fleets. If anyone can help, we have fresh coffee and Earth cookies to share. The offer of hospitality during a battle moment stuns both commanders. No one has ever offered them cookies in 300 years of war. Growing curiosity. Young officers on both fleets start watching the human broadcast. They see Tom singing Old Earth songs while welding. They see Lisa reading a book. During her break, a paper book, Ancient Technology. They see James trying to grow a small plant in a pot on the bridge. The turning point setup. Commander Vorin contacts General Kess for the first time in decades. Are you seeing this? He asks. Yes, Kess replies. What are they doing? I think they're making tea now. Both commanders are completely baffled, building tension. The fleets remain frozen, waiting to see what happens. The humans have no idea they've stopped a war. James finally gets the engine working after 6 hours. He broadcasts, "Thank you for your patience, friends. We're almost ready to go." The human philosophy emerges. While waiting for the engine to cool, James starts talking on open channels. He tells stories about Earth, about a planet that survived many wars. He talks about how humans learned that talking is better than fighting. His words are simple, but powerful. War makes everyone lose. Even the winners lose something. Closing scene. The Wanderer prepares to leave. James sends final messages. We're leaving now. Sorry for the trouble. Be kind to each other. The ship slowly moves away from the neutral zone behind them. Both fleets remain silent, watching them go. For the first time in 300 years, no shots are fired. Both commanders stare at their screens. So it's the aftermath of silence. The human ship disappeared into the darkness of space, leaving behind something neither fleet had experienced in centuries: uncertainty. Commander Vorin stood on his bridge, staring at the empty space where the Wanderer had been. His 4 arms hung loosely at his sides. Around him, his officers waited for orders that did not come. Across the neutral zone, General Kess floated inside her containment suit, her energy form pulsing with confused colors. She had fought this war for 60 years. She had lost friends, destroyed planets, and commanded 1 million soldiers. But she had never felt what she felt now. Doubt. The unexpected conversation. General Kess. Voren's voice crackled over the secure channel. We need to talk. This was forbidden. Commanders did not speak to enemies. But Kess found herself responding anyway. What is there to talk about, Voren? Those humans, he said slowly. They had no weapons. They were helpless between our fleets. But they offered us cookies. Kess made a sound that might have been a laugh. I noticed. They also sang songs while repairing their ship. Songs about sunshine and rivers. My crew watched their broadcast, Voren admitted. Even my weapons officer, Marcus, stopped targeting practice to watch. He said they reminded him of his childhood. The spread of humanity's impact on both fleets. Something strange was happening. Young officers were talking. They shared recordings of the human broadcast. They watched James make bad jokes. They watched Tom fix engines while humming. They watched Lisa read her paper book and drink coffee from a chipped mug. A Vorlax pilot named Dana spoke to her squad. Did you see that small plant on their bridge? They keep a living plant on a spaceship. Why? Another pilot asked. Because it makes them happy, Dana said quietly. They do things just for happiness. On the Tecrian side, an engineer named Paul analyzed the human ship's design. Their technology is basic, he told his team. But look at this, they have windows. Real windows to see space. We use screens. They want to actually see the stars. The question. No one asked. Both fleets had forgotten a simple question. Why were they fighting? The war started 300 years ago over a mining dispute on a border planet. That planet was destroyed 200 years ago. The original leaders who started the war were dead. Their grandchildren's grandchildren were dead. But the war continued because it had always continued. A young Vorlax officer named Ben asked his commander, Sir, why do we fight the Tekrin? Voren opened his mouth to answer, then stopped. The old reasons, honor, territory, revenge for past attacks, suddenly sounded empty. How could he explain to this young officer that they fought because their ancestors fought? How could he say that millions died for a cause no one remembered? We fight because, Voren started, then fell silent. Ben waited, but the answer never came. The human effect on the Tekrin flagship, General Kess called a meeting with her senior staff. They gathered in the strategy room expecting battle plans. Instead, Kess asked them a question. What did you think of the humans? Her officers looked at each other, confused. Chief Tactical Officer Sarah spoke first. They were peaceful, foolishly peaceful. Were they foolish? Kess asked. Or were they brave? They drifted between two war fleets and offered friendship. We, with all our weapons and power, could not do that. Another officer, Robert, added, They were not afraid of us. They saw two massive fleets ready to destroy each other, and they asked if anyone wanted coffee. Perhaps, Kess said slowly, they were showing us what strength really means. Not weapons, not fear, but the courage to be kind when everything around you is violent. The breaking point commander Voren made a decision. He opened a direct channel to General Kess. I'm sending a shuttle to your flagship, he said. Unarmed. I want to meet you. Face to face. The request was shocking. In 300 years of war, no commander had ever suggested this. Kess should have refused. She should have destroyed the shuttle. Instead, she heard herself say, I will receive you. Come alone. The meeting 6 hours later, Voren stepped onto the Tekrin flagship. He wore no armor, carried no weapons. General Kess met him in a simple conference room. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Two enemies who had never seen each other in person. Those humans, Voren finally said, made me realize something. I have been fighting you for 40 years, but I have never asked you why you fight. Kess's energy form pulsed softly. I fight because my people fight, but I do not remember why we started. Neither do I, Voren admitted. The council of Tu Voren and Kess sat across from each other in silence. The room was plain and empty except for a table and two chairs. Outside, two massive fleets waited, weapons ready, not knowing that their commanders were drinking tea together. This feels wrong, Voren said, holding the cup awkwardly with one of his 4 hands. We should be planning attacks, not sitting here. Yes, Kess agreed, her energy form dimming to a calm blue. But it also feels right. Why is that? Voren thought about the human ship, about James and his bad jokes, about Lisa and her paper book, about Tom and his songs. Those humans did not see enemies. They only saw people who might help them. What if we tried that? The proposal. Kess leaned forward. If we stop fighting, what happens? Our fleets expect battle. Our governments demand victory. Our people know only war. Then we give them something better, Vorin said. We give them peace, not because we are weak, but because we are strong enough to choose it. They will call us traitors, Kess warned. Perhaps. But the humans showed us something. They were weak and helpless between our fleets. Yet they were not afraid to be kind. If they can be brave, so can we. Kess's form pulsed with decision. What do you suggest? Vorin pulled out a small device. We broadcast to both fleets together. We tell them the truth, that we forgot why we fight, that we choose to remember why we should stop. The broadcast 1 hour later. Every screen on both fleets showed the same image. Commander Vorin and General Kess, standing side by side. Vorin spoke first. Soldiers of the Vorlax Empire, I have fought this war for 40 years. I have given orders that killed thousands. I have hated the Tekrin with all my strength. Today I realized I do not know why. Gasps echoed through the Vorlax ships. Officers stared at their screens in shock. Kess spoke next. Warriors of the Tekrin Alliance, we have been at war for 300 years. Generations have lived and died knowing only battle. But today, 3 humans in a broken ship showed us something we forgot, that there is another way. On both fleets, soldiers watched in silence. Vorin continued. Those humans had no weapons, no armies, no power. But they had courage. The courage to offer friendship in the middle of war. The courage to be kind when surrounded by violence. If they can be brave, so can we. We are ordering a ceasefire, Kess announced. Effective immediately. No more fighting. No more dying. Not today. Not ever again. The response for 10 long seconds, nothing happened. Then slowly, one Vorlax pilot powered down her weapons. Then another. Then 10 more. On the Tekrin side, soldiers began turning off their targeting systems. A young officer named Kate spoke on the Vorlax communication channel. Sir, what should we do now? Vorin smiled. Now we talk. Now we share stories. Now we find out who our enemies really are, and discover they are just people like us. 3 weeks later, the Galactic Council met to discuss the shocking peace between the Vorlax and Tekrin. Diplomats from 100 worlds gathered to witness the treaty signing. But something unexpected happened. A small cargo ship requested permission to dock. The Wanderer had returned. James Reed walked into the council chambers looking confused. Sorry, we're late. We had to deliver supplies to Station 7. Did we miss something important? The entire council turned to stare at him. Commander Vorin stood and walked to James. The human looked tiny next to the 4-armed warrior. You, Vorin said, ended a 300-year war. James blinked. I did what? We just needed help fixing our engine. General Kess floated closer. You showed us that kindness is stronger than weapons. You offered cookies to enemies. You sang songs during danger. You proved that peace is possible. Lisa stepped forward, holding a container. Speaking of cookies, we brought some. Tom baked them fresh this morning. Tom waved from behind her. Chocolate chip. Still warm. The mighty council members, leaders of worlds and fleets, stared at the simple container of cookies. Then slowly they began to smile. The legacy of the peace treaty was signed that day. It became known as the Cookie Accord. The document included unusual clauses. All diplomatic meetings must include refreshments. All warships must carry at least 1 living plant, and once a year, every fleet commander must tell a joke to their crew. James never understood what he had done. He continued hauling cargo across the galaxy, singing songs and making bad jokes. But wherever he went, people welcomed him, not as a hero, but as the man who reminded them that being human, being kind, being genuine, being simple, was the greatest strength of all. The war ended not with a bang, but with cookies and conversation. And the galaxy was better for it. The end.